Well, hello, and welcome back, Wait a minute, that's not right. She's not supposed to be here. Hold on, technical difficulties with the magic here, folks. This still doesn't feel right. Hello, and welcome back, subscribblers and new viewers, and if this is your first video, welcome to the new and improved, hopefully, studio. It's time for me to revamp my channel to improve the content and personifications that I share with you all, and work with my inner critique instead of against it. So the new solid schedule shall be one Wednesday video and one Sunday video a month, along with multiple YouTube shorts and a bunch of mini comics that I will post to my other platforms and try to do voiceovers for them and sharing story times, fan art, and original characters so that you'll have something of every variety to enjoy. New structure, but similar format, more fleshed out and well-rounded so that you guys can have an ease of watching these videos, and I have a much easier time on myself for both editing and enjoyment for making these videos, making it more entertaining and more easy for me to engage with the audience on every social media platform that I choose to post to. I was working off of an adrenaline rush and coping mechanisms of the past, where, essentially, every time I'd come home from school or work, I would spend every waking minute that I could right before bed, or first thing in the morning at 5 o'clock in the morning before I'd have to leave at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the morning. Essentially, during the times that I should have been doing mostly taking care of myself and eating and multitasking it. So essentially, having my sketchbook with me while eating breakfast or dinner or doing chores, it wasn't really efficient. And even though I was able to mass produce a lot of old illustrations, anything from previous of 2022 for my videos is something that I'm not exactly proud of, but I did learn from it. I don't want to have most of my videos just gone from the channel, but I will be combing through it and removing any of the videos that I feel just aren't related to the channel anymore, or don't have any sort of value to them, not only for me, but for you, the audience, and it kind of is me clearing the clutter so that my channel doesn't become a horde, because I have almost 700 uploads. Nearly 100 of those have been animation memes. However, I haven't been aiming for animation to be my main focus. It is one way that I chose as a type of medium or platform sharing kind of way to animate my characters, to bring them to life. I have always wanted to do this. It was perfect storytelling for me, aside from my speed paints, to show, don't tell with my characters. It's one of the easiest ways that I can share to not only my audience, but friends and family, how I'm either feeling or how I want to show off characters for their stories, instead of me sitting and reading to you like novel form. I have tested this by doing a old story once for the channel, which was based off of 2 characters in Call of Duty of all things in Nuketown, and I turned that into a story where I tried to talk over my script with a drawing and see how that worked by using some voice acting incorporated, but it just didn't quite feel right. So I want to be able to work on better strengthening my confidence for voice work to be able to do that more often with storytelling of my characters, but also through comic means. Working on comics and illustrations better lines up with the way that I have adapted my style with simplification for animations. However, it's easy to jump on the bandwagon of trends. It's what I started doing with my channel a long time ago, like at least 3-4 years ago, where all I wanted to do was make an animation meme because there was another artist who made it, and the second I heard the song, I instantly got a music video level of animation of my own characters in those scenarios in my head. It's how I work with the creative flow, but being very easily influenceable comes with struggles for the direction of my channel and my artwork. Working out plans and goals that get swept under the rug, and I end up having productivity fluctuations, where some of the negative, I lose sight of things, and I don't really remember what drove my creations in the first place, and I don't want to dread or force a completion and create a bad chain of habits. I want to actually work where the support of others drives me forward, but I can do so on my own, and not only bouncing ideas off of others, but be able to work solo to have all of these videos produced when they're supposed to be for all of you. Having that responsibility and balance is important, and from the very get-go, as I've stated for this channel, doing things with big ambition and little budget has been my goal to show what a first freelance self-taught digital artist trying to do this on the platform with multiple different forms of content can do, but taking on too much under my belt has made it so that I haven't really had a clear direction or a niche for my channel, aside from the fact that the most consistent thing thus far over the past 2 years is me creating Stencil Fox and the Void and trying to incorporate that more into the channel, but not actually taking the time, like I should have been, to actually work on the studies that I needed to refine all of my weaknesses. I have stated many times when trying to work on comic pages that putting a character just on a blank background is one thing. Putting them into the environment and the context of lighting and everything around them is important. It's why I had to put my Webtoons comic on hiatus, is because when I was trying to figure out why my characters and backgrounds weren't meshing well, it's because it looked like two completely different art forms and styles in a bad way. Most of my backgrounds looked like muddy clay, where my characters kind of stood out for their lack of defined silhouettes and proportions, and even the colors didn't really fit for them. Most of my characters had same face or same personality syndrome for the longest time because I wasn't really good at writing. My husband is a fantastic writer, and I'm going to have to take some pointers from him from time to time because I'm good at making the designs and figuring out, for the most part, asking the whole questions of who, what, when, where, and why. But past that, most of it is through my expressions of the artwork. It's also something when it came to fan artwork that I struggled with a lot, and you'll hear me say it a lot on the channel in many of my previous videos where I was trying to figure out who and what Stencil Fox and the style would be when it came to drawing fan art for Sonic, Pokemon, My Little Pony, you name it. But developing my channel, I was trying to figure out what that would be. I didn't really stray too far from the original sources because I was trying to break a habit by unfortunately, ironically, doing said bad habit over and over again. The definition of insanity. Essentially, I wasn't actually practicing how I would personally proportion and break the style mold while still keeping something accurate to the source. This is going to come into play for future videos where I do a study and you can join me along with it. I want to figure out style studies for thick, thin, sharp, soft lines. I also want to figure out sketches with thin pencils or thick marker consistencies. This will be both through digital and traditional means as I use my sketchbooks more often, and as I've stated in a previous video that I haven't been able to fully work on, there are separate sketchbooks that will be specifically Patreon exclusive, and others I will be using for the study purpose of the channel to show you all how I am learning as I go along. Same thing with colors. Some of the highly saturated ones, or even the desaturated ones, working to mesh together, because you can't really have certain things shine if you don't have the dull colors to complement or contrast. And it's something that even if you learn the basics, you have to be able to put them into practice. Even if I know what a sphere and a cube would look like with lighting, it depends on what it's made out of when you put it into an environment. If you want it to be pop saturated or desaturated and dull, it's very, very important for these, and I had been lacking it for a long time. I would essentially say, hey, I want to draw my characters in the forest, but there are tons of details and questions and checking off the boxes of what will be in that environment. Why are they there? All those questions rattle through my brain and leave me with decision paralysis and art block. And sometimes I get burnout because I'll end up pumping out a ton of illustrations of character design, but then I run out of energy to actually do something with those character designs. Having nearly 200 characters is a lot to work with. Nearly 10 different story universes, and one that I have now created as a placeholder. It's kind of like that shelf in your house that kind of collects things, or a table that builds up little cluttery items, that, you know, pile of things that you don't really know what to do with, but you just can't bring yourself to get rid of them. I never want to get rid of them because it may come in handy. There might be a screwdriver on that table that just conveniently happens to fit for that tiny little thing in your house. There's so many things that I want to work on, but having my old way that didn't work, I learned from it. Essentially, I was trying to do once-a-month uploads for my Webtoons comic on top of doing about 10 videos a month, on top of working, on top of family and self-care, all of this stuff, and it was draining and detrimental. What I want to work on this is a proper consistency, and the responses that people have will help me in support. Not only do I have the support of my husband and my close friends and family, and even some new patrons and supporters of the Subscribler Squad who show up every single time, every view, every like, all of that helps for the YouTube side of the algorithm. But I'm always reminded when it comes to the small interactions of networking and the kindness and the power that everyone has with making other fellow small creators, just bringing characters to life and having fun. I've recently been engaging more on other social media platforms in ways that I didn't think that I would be able to, but that confidence has slowly been building and pushing me in the right direction. I have also been having more confidence in outwardly sharing, such as my background, all of the things that I have been a part of in the past and present, and I hope that you guys enjoy the mix of fan art and original characters, and I hope to see you all with the new studio changes in the very next video. Stay possum, and I'll see you real soon.
Pathetic.
That's all the time that we have for today. Thank you so very much. If you have not already, don't forget to leave some likes and comments and subscribe to join the Subscribblers squad. In the meantime, don't forget to check out some of my playlists, and if you would like any fan artwork featured at the end of the video in the Subscribblers gallery, tag me in it. I would love to see what you guys make. And if you'd like to support my works and see more, check out my card link below, especially for the patron exclusive rewards. £2 a month, the Fennec Fox tier gets you access to secret sketches and artwork early. The Arctic Foxes, for £5 a month, you get exclusive access to videos and webtoons pages early, and the Red Foxes have the opportunity to be featured as a background character or a commission instead, and your name read out at the end of the videos just like this. Thank you so much to Frankie Jr. 13. Stay possum, Subscribblers, and I'll see you real soon.